Chief Justice Chandrachud. Before he became India's 50th Chief Justice, his predecessor Justice UU Lalit's tenure spanned a paltry 74 days. Chandrachud was a Supreme Court judge who was a part of some landmark judgments: privacy, euthanasia, decriminalization of homosexuality, adultery, entry of women into Sabarimala, Ayodhya case, bill on mandatory playing of national anthem in cinema halls, abortion rights for women, and these are just a few. As a Supreme Court judge, Chandrachud overturned two judgments of his father Y.V. Chandrachud. He overruled the colonial-era adultery law under Section 497. In 2017, he overruled the habeas corpus case in which the Supreme Court had allowed suspension of the right to life during emergency. When he took over as CJI, many important cases were lined up, like the abrogation of Article 370, the validity of the Citizenship Amendment Act, and the Electoral Bonds Scheme. Cases that had huge political significance. On the judicial front, there was a huge pendency of cases, a lack of adequate infrastructure, and a delay in the delivery of justice. What followed was that in 2023, the Supreme Court disposed of 52,191 cases till December 15 as against 49,191 registered that year. The top court described it as a watershed moment in the nation's legal history. Chandrachud is also known for incorporating technology into the judicial system. A new system of mentioning matters has ensured that all urgent cases are mentioned in a timely, organized manner before the court. To trim and eventually eliminate the use of paper, Chandrachud has ensured e-filing for advocates, including an online appearance portal for advocates and litigants. The Supreme Court has also made public all its case data through the National Judicial Data Grid portal. Among his biggest initiatives to make the Supreme Court more inclusive and widely accessible to the public was his decision to allow live streaming of Constitution bench hearings. Now on to the judgments. Chief Justice Chandrachud has delivered verdicts that are worth a deep look. Same-sex marriages, abrogation of Article 370, demonetisation, the Delhi Ordinance, the list is long. But a common pattern has been that Supreme Court verdicts under Chandrachud have often failed to challenge the government. While some of the verdicts did go against the government, the governors in particular, for example, the Delhi Ordinance case, the Supreme Court weighed in favor of the AAP government over the Delhi Ordinance, though the BJP government at the centre passed it anyway. It criticised Kerala Governor Arif Muhammad Khan for sitting on bills for 2 years and also posed some tough questions to Tamil Nadu Governor R.N. Ravi when a similar dispute arose. On the other hand, there are also verdicts like the same-sex marriages case that were less definitive. The Supreme Court delivered its verdict 5 months after it had reserved the judgment. Chief Justice Chandrachud said it was incorrect to characterize marriage as a static and unchanging institution and that governments must not discriminate against the right of the queer community to enter into union. He said there must be no restrictions on the right of non-heterosexual couples to adopt. But he also said it was for Parliament to decide legislatively. The Supreme Court ruled 3-2 that it could not legalize same-sex marriages in India. The ball is now in the government's court, back to square one. Then the Supreme Court unanimously upheld the centre's abrogation of Article 370. In his part of the judgment, while upholding the power of the President to abrogate Article 370, Chandrachud said the President and Parliament take 100, if not thousands of decisions, and every action could not be subject to judicial review. He reasoned that Article 370 had only been a temporary provision and that Jammu and Kashmir retained no element of sovereignty when it joined the Indian Union in 1947. Demonetisation. The Supreme Court upheld Modi's 2016 demonetisation move with a 4-1 majority and said that it found no flaw in the government's exercise. As Chandrachud's tenure nears its end, the focus has been on the Chief Justice's comments regarding his Ayodhya verdict. He said he saw divine guidance before making the decision. Before that, he was questioned for inviting Prime Minister Modi for Ganesh Chaturthi prayers at his residence. That blurred the line between judiciary and government to no small extent. Chandrachud's verdicts often divided opinions and cleaved society. They were talked about for months, if not years. There's no doubt that India's 50th Chief Justice will have hundreds of mentions in the history books of the future.